Hello everyone. Today we are going to look at part 2 of the video on quadratic equations. In part 1, we looked at 3 different ways to solve a quadratic equation. Those 3 different ways were applying the zero factor property, extracting square roots, and applying quadratic formulas. So in here, we are going to solve a quadratic equation by completing the square. Before we do some examples, I'm going to go over the steps with you. So we start with a general quadratic equation, which is given by this equation ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. The very first step is to get all the variables on one side of the equation, that is ax squared plus bx equals minus c. We'll check the coefficient of x squared. If it is not 1, we make it 1. So we're basically going to divide this whole equation by a, or multiply it by 1 over a. So when we do that, what we get is x squared plus b over ax equals minus c over a. The third step is to find b over 2a and b over 2a the whole square. We are basically going to apply the technique now. To do that, what we do is we go to this equation, which is given over here, x squared plus b over a x equals c over a, and we will add b over 2a the whole square on both sides of the equation. Remember, the original equation is given in this blue box, and this cannot be changed. So what happens is when we apply b over 2a the whole square on both sides, we actually get is a complete square on the left-hand side, which is given by x plus b over 2a the whole square. The right-hand side is minus c plus b square over 4a squared. Basically, when you square this up, that's what you get. Now we will apply the another method we learned earlier, which is the extracting the square roots, and then we solve the quadratic equation. So these are the basic 4 steps by which we apply completing the square and solving a quadratic equation. So let's do some examples. This one is a very simple one. Here it is x squared plus 8x minus 10 equals 0. Now, the coefficient of x squared, that's the very first step, is 1. So we don't have to worry. We just go ahead, apply the step where we find b over 2. So your b over here is 8. You divide by 2, you get a 4. You take the square of b over 2, which is 4 squared, 16. So once we have completed all the things needed to apply the completing the square thing, so let's go back to the original equation given to us. And we will, first thing, remember, is now x squared plus 8x minus 10. The very first step is to put the variables on one side. So x squared plus 8x is 10. And then we add the square of b over 2 terms on both the sides, which is 4 squared plus 4 squared. Now this side on the left hand side, guys, is a complete square, which is written as x plus 4 the whole square equals 10 plus 16. Now applying the the square roots here, what do we get? That x plus 4 is plus minus square root, 10 plus 16 is 26. And the solutions now are given by, when you take 4 on the other side of the equation, minus 4 plus minus square root 26. So the solution to a problem of x squared plus 8x minus 10 equals 0 is given by x equal to minus 4 plus minus square root 26. Now let's look at another example. Here we have a quadratic equation which is given by minus x squared plus 6x minus 16 equals 0. So the first thing we test is, what's the coefficient of x squared? Is it a 1? It's not 1. It's a -1. So we will divide this whole equation by -1. We get the equation x squared minus 6x plus 16 equals 0. Let's write down the a's, b's, and c's, because remember we have to find b over 2. So our b is -6, a is 1, c is 16. So b over 2a is -6 over 2, which is -3, and then we take the square. Now we will apply solving by completing the square. We start with the original. Now we're going to look at this equation. Keep in mind, we have to make sure that our quadratic equation has coefficient 1 for x squared. So here we're going to start the problem. So we have x squared minus 6x plus 16. The step is to keep the variables on one side of the equal sign, the constants on the other. Then we add the square of b over 2, which is -3 the square, which is 9, on both sides of the equation. We get x squared minus 6x plus -3 the whole square, which equals -16 plus -3 the whole square. Then you do simple algebra. Remember, the left-hand side is a complete square, which is x minus 3 the whole square equals -16 plus 9. And we get, for values for x, to be x minus 3 equals plus minus square root of -7. Now remember, square root of -7, we learned about complex numbers. So if you're given a square root of -7, that minus present inside means I have a complex number. To get rid of this negative inside the square root, we write this as an I, and then just simply write I square root 7. And that's what we write over here as the solution to this quadratic equation is -3 plus minus I over square root 7. Okay, so let's go back here. This was the original problem. X squared minus 6x plus 16 equals 0. And the solution is given by x equals -3 plus minus I square root of 7. Let's do one more problem. Now here we have a quadratic equation given by 3x squared plus 6x minus 12 equals 0. The very first step, guys, is to have the coefficient of x squared to be 1. So we divide this whole equation by 3. And we get a new equation, x squared plus 2x minus 4. Let's write down the a's, b's, and the c's here. So a is 1, b is 2, c is -4. The next thing we do is find b over 2 and then take the square of that. So here we have, I forgot to write, this is, remember, b over 2 equals 2 over 2 equals 1, which is 2 over 2 the whole square, which is 1. Now we're going to solve by completing the square. Let's write down the original equation, x squared plus 2x minus 4. Remember, the one we are talking is the one which has coefficient of x squared to be 1. Keep the variables on one side, x squared plus 2x equals 4. And then add the square of b over 2, which gives us 1 square on both the sides of the equal sign. The left-hand side becomes x plus 1 the whole square equals 4 plus 1 on the right-hand side. And then we solve for the x. We get x plus 1 equals plus minus square root 5, or x equals -1 plus minus square root 5. Remember, the original problem was 3x squared plus 6x minus 12 equals 0. This was the original problem, and this is the solution. And this was the same problem I had done earlier in part 1 of the video, where we solved this quadratic equation by quadratic formula. So we have learned 4 different ways of solving the quadratic equation. Depending upon what is the easiest for you guys, solve the quadratic equation accordingly. Thank you.